What's up, everybody? We're going to do the first mission in the industry section for the career agent. And in order to do that, we need to do a little bit of mining. So what I ended up doing is I opened up my personal assets, and I'll show you that here. I keep trying to make these videos and I forget to switch over to show the actual game, which is really silly. I found that I've got this mining ship here that I need to go get. I exited my ship, got into my pod, and set this as the destination by right-clicking on it and setting destination. Now, I knew that I needed to come right back to the agent station to accept that mission and do what I needed to do, so I set that as a waypoint. I can't do that here because I've already got it as a waypoint, but you can see that here. These are your two locations in the upper left. This is my first destination, and then this is the waypoint that I added that'll like take me back to where I came from. So while we travel, the industry agent, his name is, well, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but he offered me a mission, and I'm going to actually start the conversation with him, and we'll just go through it that way. Just to walk you through it, missions are laid out in this way pretty regularly. So you'll see the agent in the upper left corner. That's his name, where he's at. So if you need to get back to him to hand it in or to actually accept the mission, which you're going to have to do from that station, it's good to know how to get there. So you can right click on that location and set it as your destination. And there's a little bit of a story that goes along here, but it looks like they want us to mine some Veldspar, 1,000 units of it, and bring it to this location. Now, this location is handily or conveniently the same location that the agent is at. So one way to do it is like we're going to do, is we're going to go pick up a mining ship or to use the ship that we were in, and we're just going to go mine it, and we're going to get that stuff that way. Another way, which is faster and a bit more costly, is if you right click on the item that we're supposed to acquire and view it in the market details, I could really very easily just sit at that station with the agent, buy 1,000 units of this item, click on it here, and let's see, that's the station that I just left. So I could buy 1,000 units at 12.5 an item and spend 12,500 units, and we'd be just fine, and then I could hand it in immediately. Now, the objective says to mine the Veldspar in the asteroid field and return with 1,000 units. So I'm going to go and grab this ship. I'm going to come back. I'll restart the video there, and then we can talk about mining and sort of how we get into that. All right? So hang around. Now, those of you that were paying attention might have noticed that I was running around in my pod. I'm an alpha character, and I don't have almost anything to lose. So that didn't make any difference to me whether I flew out there in a pod or I had to buy a shuttle or use my Velotor and fly out there, switch ships, and then fly back. The reason why I use my pod is because I don't have any implants, and if I get potted or if I get killed in my pod, I don't lose anything. There's really no, I just pop up back at the station and I try again. I mean, there's nothing lost when that happens. But where that becomes a very expensive and dangerous endeavor is if you look at your character, you can buy implants for your character. Let's see, we'll look under character. Let's see. All right, so I've got these stats, and they're all pretty much level. I can buy an implant for each of, see, I've got no augmentations, and that's where they would show, but there are 5 different categories here for perception, memory, willpower, intelligence, and charisma. And I can have an implant for each of those. I'll have like, I think 5 or 6 different slots that manage just the attributes, and then another 5 or 6 slots that I can fill with implants that give me a little bit more power when I'm trying to outfit my ship, make my weapons do more, make the mine more effectively, and so on and so forth. So those are very expensive if you're willing or interested in spending money on them. And just to give you a glimpse into that, we'll just come over here, and there we are, implants and boosters. So you got 5 slots that you can use to impact your 5 attributes here, and then you've got other slots that you can use to do that. So that's what's here. So if we look at implant slot 1, which would allow or add perception. See, this adds 3 to perception. And I don't know if you remember, but the higher these stats are, the faster you will learn skills that are geared specifically towards those stats. So perception and willpower are usually paired up as a primary and secondary skill for learning ship skills, right? So if I come over here to Spaceship Command and I really want to learn, I don't know, just a Black Ops skill, right? Primary willpower, secondary perception. And so that would, having a higher perception and willpower would train that skill faster. Accepted. So as you can see, these implants can be pretty expensive. So this one here, which gives bonuses in addition to the stat, is 150 million. That's 200 million. Just adding to the statistic itself, or the attribute, you can get 1 for 40K. That's really pretty cheap. 2 for around 3 million. 3 for 10 or 11 million, and then it goes up from there. So when you're early on, it might be worth buying some of these on the cheaper level. The more money you have and the more you can afford to lose, you'll probably be able to step that up and learn skills faster. So, all right, we're back in the station, and we're looking at this mission, and so we need to get 1,000 units. It tells us to mine it. When we complete the mission, we'll be granted a miner 1. Oh, nope, it says the following item will be granted to you when the mission is accepted. That's good. I was about to make some snide comment about them giving me a mining device after I've mined stuff, which is not very nice. But we've got 6 hours to do so, and if we're able to complete it in under that 6 hours, then we will not only get the 221,000 ISK for completing the mission, but we will also get a bonus of 294,000. So that's a pretty good deal. Now, before I hit accept, which starts that timer, I'm going to make sure that my ship is outfitted and that I am pretty much ready to go. So I need to go mine Veldspar. I'm going to need 2. See, we got 2 turret hardpoints of my mining lasers there. I'm going to throw this mining laser upgrade in my 1 low slot, and let's see. I'm going to strip the fitting of my other ship just so that I can get this afterburner and put it on there. Alright, so they've given me this item, but I don't have the skill. So what we'll do is we're just going to buy this. We'll go to mining upgrades. That's 80K. I can afford that. Not very easily, but okay. Normally when you hover over a skill, it'll give you the ability to like go and inject it, but there we go. We'll inject it, and just so that the next few missions, okay, I don't need to worry about that right this moment. Resource processing, mining upgrades. There we go. We're going to drop this right at the top. It'll take about an hour, but why we want to use that is if we look at it, it increases the amount that we mine by 5%. So over a period of time, that's actually really, really advantageous. So looks like we've got everything that we need. We got our 2 miner units here. We've got our afterburner to move around, and that thing isn't activated because we don't have the skills to operate it. But fear not, we have what we need, and this will show that I spent the 80,000. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to accept. Yep. Now, so this is giving us a cargo capacity warning, saying that we need a total of 100 cargo units to carry and to manage 1,000 units of Veldspar, and that we only have space for 500 more units. I'm going to accept anyway, but it's always a good idea to read these warnings, because you may accept a mission that won't allow the ship that you're currently flying into the space where you need to be in order to fly that mission. But why I'm not concerned is because if you look here at my inventory, sure, I've got 50 meters cubed of space, but I also have an ore hold. which is where, when I mine, where all of the ore will go. And this actually has room for 5,000 cubic meters of ore. So I'm not overly concerned. I hit accept, I'm ready to go. I'm going to undock. Yeah, and this is also warning me that one of my modules is offline. That's fine, I don't have the skill for it. I'm just going to go and mine, and then in the next mission we'll probably be able to benefit from having that skill. Either way, it's a good skill to have. Leave it at least one until you figure out what you want to do, and we can go from there. So alright, so they've actually got an asteroid field set up for us, right? And it's at this location. So if I right click on it, once I'm outside, I can warp straight to that location.
Warp drive
In
active.
general, that's not going to be the case when you go mining. You're going to need to click on the mining tab here, find an asteroid belt, and warp there, and then go about trying to find an asteroid that you can get to. So these say that the optimal range is within 10 kilometers, which means that I really have to be actually under 10k in order to do it. And if you see what I just did here, I tried to drag one of these mining lasers onto the other, which also effectively would group them. And yeah, you can't group mining lasers, which is unfortunate. So here we've got an asteroid of Veldspar. I'm going to target it, much like I would an enemy, and then I would engage both mining lasers, and I would just sit here. So I'm going to let this run while I mine. I'll actually keep talking through the first cycle so you can see kind of what happens and what it looks like. Generally when I'm mining and when I'm running missions, I leave the mission window open so I know what's going on and where I'm supposed to go, and a little blue check will show up once I've completed one aspect of it. And so it's just, I like to have that available. You can make it bigger or smaller depending on how much screen real estate you have, but I also leave open, especially when I'm mining. Generally I don't, but when I'm mining I leave open my inventory and I leave it selected at the ore hold so that I can see how much I've picked up. So if you remember, the ore hold, or these mining lasers actually have a full 1 minute cycle. If I stop them before they reach a full cycle, I will get some percentage of the amount of stuff that they normally would have mined. So boom, boom, I just picked up 1,900 units of Veldspar. Now, because I'm out here and I can make money off of this, you notice that the little blue checks showed up here. I'm going to mine this asteroid dry. So I'm just going to let it cycle continuously, and then I'll either run this asteroid dry, and maybe I'll go and I'll fill up the rest of my hold at one of these asteroid belts. But I don't like to go out and just grab a little bit. I'll go out and I'll fill up my hold, and then I'll come back at it. It makes it a lot more profitable and worthwhile to do. So that's what I'm going to do. When you finish a portion of the mission, though, there may be a pop-up window like you saw here with this dude, Hoove. It's a strange name, but Hoove. When Hoove shows up after you've completed some things and tells you you're good to go, you're generally done. Sometimes that happens with missions. Sometimes it doesn't. Don't be worried if it doesn't, but don't feel like you have to run away immediately if it does. So I'm closing that. I'm going to let this thing run and mine as much as I can hold. And I'll restart the video when we get in and we can sort of talk about what to do from there. Alright? So I'll catch you in just a second. Alright, I wanted to jump back in here while I'm still mining. My fiance is going to be home in a minute. I'm going to need to wrap up this video here, but I wanted to point out that while I was mining, an enemy showed up, and this little triangle means it's a frigate. And they've just been sitting here attacking me while I mined. But because the regeneration rate of my shield was higher than the damage that they could do, I've been able to just kind of hang out. Originally I was mining just stationary, sitting there, not doing anything. And I was finding that my shields had dropped to like 60 or 70%. But the moment I started moving and orbiting the asteroid that I was mining, I even turned on my afterburner to get myself up to 600 some odd meters per second. And the moment I did that, I started taking a substantially smaller amount of damage. And now my shields are up to 89%, and they're holding pretty steady there. So, 2 lessons to take away from this. One is if you just leave yourself and you go wander AFK, first off, it's a bad idea. But if you're mining, enemies show up periodically in asteroid fields, and usually they're strong enough to be a pain in the butt. And to cause you some actual harm and possibly even blow up your ship if you are far enough away from the keyboard or you're really not paying attention. And secondly, the lesson of what we were talking about previously, where movement drastically decreases the amount of damage that you take. This is just telling that story right here. It's actually pretty impressive how much that's the case. So I'm going to cut this off halfway just to finish the stream, or finish this video a little bit early so that I can wrap it up in time here. Watch that I've got 32.84 thousand units of Veldspar. If I cut these off, see how it jumps to 34.37k? Alright, so I finished that. It sucks up what aura we were using. This thing's still attacking me, but I don't have any weapons to defend myself with, so I don't really care. I didn't fill up my hold completely, but I figured that's okay. We're just doing this one mission. So I've got this here. I've got all the ore in my hold, which is right there. And I know I'm supposed to drop it off here, which is the same as here. So I can either right-click on the location there and dock, or I can right-click on the location there and dock, which is what I'm going to do. So active. I didn't hang out long enough to fill up my hold. I'm not even sure if it would have let me. I think it maxes out at like 40,000 units of Veldspar or something like that. Each asteroid only holds a certain amount of ore in it, so you can mine it out and that asteroid will disappear. I remember thinking the last few times I've done these career agents that the asteroids they send you to are not big enough, or they're not full enough to warrant or to be able to allow you to fill up your hold entirely. So I don't think we missed too much by coming back early.
Docking permission requested.
There's my venture,
accepted.
And we're docking up. Now, there's two ways to go about this. Once you have whatever item you went out to complete the mission for, you can either complete the mission with it in your hold, or if you drag the hold, or if you drag the item into your inventory, drag it into my item hanger, for example, here it is, and complete it there, they can pull it out anyway. So it's going to take 1,000 units of Veldspar, not 1,000 cubic meters, but 1,000 units. So this will take us to 33.37 thousand units of Veldspar. Boom. And you see over here we got paid. As I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, payments for mission completions are instantaneous, so I picked up 400 and change. If you see here, I would have gotten more, but because I got taxed by my corporation, which is whatever the noob corporation is for Galente, they take a percentage of the reward as well as the bonus reward. So I finished that. I got the first mission done, and then normally I would just hit request mission to get the next one. But that wraps up the first mission for industry, and we'll be moving on to making Mountains of Molehills 2 in the next video. So thanks for tuning in. Check out the rest of the videos that I've got. I've got some quick tips up that'll help you through little issues that you might come across that you don't know how to fix and that nobody is succinctly answering. Well, hopefully I will be succinctly answering those questions for you. So post what questions you have down in the comments. Hit subscribe. Tell your friends. I'm trying to sort of build a little bit of a community here, and I would love for you to be a part of it. If you want to try the game out, or if you want to buy it or buy Plex or whatever, there are links on how to do that down in the description of the video. And in using those links, you will, depending on what you do, help yourself and be better off when you start the game. But additionally, you'll be helping the stream and helping support sort of my activities. So either way, I appreciate it, and thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next video.